do have coats that blend into their surroundings, so let's keep our eyes open and see who we can find. So now there are two animals on your right hand side. All the way to the far right, there's a smaller animal that is a yellow-backed duiker on your right hand side, and then all the way up at the top of the hill on your right hand side, that larger animal is an okapi. So okapi and yellow-backed duiker, their name in Afrikaans means to dive, and that's exactly what they do. They dive into high dense vegetation to avoid predators. Now the okapi, a lot of people think is related to the zebra because of its black and white behind, but actually they are related to the giraffe, and we know this because of the shape of their skull. Okapis have really great hearing, so they rely more on their ears than their eyes, and they have vibration sense in their feet to help them communicate with each other. Now we are coming up to a watering hole. Watering holes are great places to spot animals. Let's hope that rings true today. So pulling around this corner on the right hand side, you're going to see some smaller antelope. Those are springbok, those brown, black, and white animals. Those grayish black animals, those are white-bearded wildebeest. The creatures with the very large horns, those are Ankole cattle. And then you can see some giraffes as well. I'm going to start talking about the springbok first. Springbok are the smaller ones, and in Dutch and Afrikaans it means jumping antelope. And that's exactly what they do. When they're excited or frightened, they'll jump about 6 feet high and 13 feet long. It's called pronking. Springbok are the national animal for a lot of sports teams in South Africa, and both the male and the female springbok have horns. The most important fact about the springbok is they are my favorite animal out here on the reserve. They are small, but they are mighty. I'm going to take a quick pause so we can look over to the left-hand side and see a spotted hyena. They're underneath that rock hut on the left-hand side. Hyenas are their own breed called the Hyenidae, and hyenas are a female-dominated group. So even the lowest ranking female is higher in their hierarchy than the highest ranking male. It's called a matriarchal society. Can anyone else name another African animal that is a matriarchal society?
Elephants.
Yeah, elephants. Now on either side of us are some red and brown mounds. These are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made out of dirt, spit, and feces, and they are hard as rock. Other animals will actually use them as scratching posts. So those creatures with the very large horns, you can see them again on the right-hand side. Those are Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle are the only domesticated animal out here on the reserve. Their horns actually have a honeycomb structure inside that helps keep them cool. And Ankole cattle are used as a form of currency in Africa. So farmers will put them in a minhada at night. A minhada is a hut made out of thorny bushes. They'll put the Ankole cattle in a minhada at night to help keep them safe. They're also called the Watusi cattle, and that is because the Watusi people are the first people who domesticated them. Now the grayish-black animals on the right-hand side, those are white-bearded wildebeest. Their name in Afrikaans means wild beast, and they're also called the gnu, spelled G-N-U, because of the sound they make. It sounds like new-new. When white-bearded wildebeest migrate, they can migrate into groups of 1,000, and they can meet up with other groups and migrate into up to groups of 1,000,000. During the day, a lot of different types of hoofstock animals, such as different types of antelope or wildebeest, they'll all spread out and they'll graze the grass. And then when the sun goes down, they'll come together to form like safety in numbers, and they'll actually learn each other's sounds and signals to be able to tell each other when danger is nearby. So there are a few ways you can identify an African elephant. One is that their ears are the shape of the continent of Africa, whereas like Indian elephants have smaller ears. And their trunks are different too. African elephants have more of like a grabbing motion with their trunk, whereas Indian elephants have more of a scooping motion with their trunk. And elephants have very sensitive skin, so they have two main ways of cooling down. One is by flapping their ears, which can decrease their temperature approximately 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And another is by putting dirt or mud on their back to help protect their skin, much like how we would put on sunscreen to protect our skin. You can see them again on the left-hand side.
There's a little baby right there.
Those are all female greater kudu, and we know this because male greater kudus have horns that can reach about 6 feet tall. But it does look like we have made our way out of the Little Ituri Forest, and we are heading into the Safi River. Now on the left hand side, you're going to see some white rhinos. White comes from the Afrikaans word weit, which means wide, and that's in relation to their mouth. So they have a wide mouth, whereas black rhinos have a more triangular shaped mouth. But here on Kilimanjaro Safari, the animals do come first, we come second. Sometimes we like to have this same path. So we're going to hang tight for just a moment. It just looks like this rhino just want to cross the road. White rhinos can weigh about 5,000 pounds. And the group of rhinos is called a crash. Now rhinos are apex animals, which means their greatest threat is humans. And they're poached for their horns, which are believed to have medicinal value. But actually they're made out of keratin, which is in our hair and fingernails. And it does sound like he's got something to say, so I'll chat in just a moment. Let's listen to the lion.
That's crazy. Oh yeah. Very top there.
So there is a male lion on your left hand side and two female lions. You can identify the difference between the two because males have manes that grow darker with age and maturity, and females do not have manes. The lions are nocturnal. They'll sleep for between 16 to 20 hours a day, and then at night the females will do the hunting while the males stay back and watch the pride and the cubs. During the day, lions and humans have the same strength in eyesight, and then at night their eyesight grows 6 times stronger than ours. All the way to the far left side, but still on your right hand side, you might notice some very large eggs. Those are ostrich eggs. But water buck don't migrate because they like to stay near water, and their coats kind of have a wet look to them, and that is because they have a water-resistant coating. Ostrich eggs can weigh about 3 pounds each, which is the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs, and they are so sturdy that a fully grown human male can stand on them and they will not break. Ostriches are a bird. They are the largest bird, and although they have wings, they cannot fly, but they can run up to about 40 miles an hour, and they use those wings to help them navigate.